action. This is a script video podcast for an instructional video on basic cooking skills. If you like what you've seen, please drop a comment and email islandblossom.joanne@gmail.com. First things first, familiarize yourself with your kitchen. As you see, mine's a bit small, but it's efficient because I can go from side to side and get things. You might need some supplies, some general supplies, and actually some measuring cups, some measuring spoons, basic spices that you'll need: salt and pepper. Doesn't have to be, you can get them straight from the store, already ground, but this is a fresher way to get it. Alright, for meals, I like spaghetti or macaroni and cheese or even hot dogs. You might want to get an average size pot, such as this. This is a small size pot, does a lot of things. But when you want to cook things like spaghetti, you need a lot of room, you need a lot of water, so that would suggest a bigger pot. Sometimes at Bed Bath & Beyond, you can get like these sets, like the small, medium, and large pot. That usually comes no problem. You can even get them at Walmart or CVS or Eckerd's or wherever you are, whatever drugstore, because they seem to sell a lot of things these days. Okay, if you're going by a recipe, other equipment you might need might be, like I said, the separate measuring cups for liquids or powders. Hold on one moment, don't stop it. Okay, you might use these for your liquids for two reasons. One, if you use this for liquids, they might spill all over, and this one has a spout, so it would be easier to pour. And you would use this for like your solids, like salt, flour, whatever, because it can come right out. With this, the mouth is so big, you might just spill it all over and cause more of a mess for someone else to have to clean up. Or you if you live by yourself. Alright. Let's see. I told you the difference. Let's see. Regular spoons and spatulas. We have a spatula right here for your non-stick, for your Teflon. You would use your metal spatula for your metal, because the metal on the Teflon will scratch it eventually. And then eventually that coating will get into your food. Not that it tastes bad, it's just kind of ruins your cooking equipment. Alright. You can pick up any of this stuff at Target. Target's probably a great place to pick up a lot of stuff at. Alright, Bed Bath & Beyond, depending on your location. Let's see. First task at hand would be warming up meals, such as soups, beans, or boiling items such as eggs or noodles. For soups, depending on the brand you get, sometimes you have to dilute them, and sometimes you don't. That would depend on the particular type of soup that you have. For the type of soup I get, I usually just have to warm it up. So basically, a can opener will be another piece of equipment you would need. So you would buy whichever and just open it up and just pour it in. And one of the most dangerous things you can do is walk away from whatever you're cooking, because time gets away from you really easily. It's like all of a sudden you're doing one thing, another thing, all of a sudden you got soup or noodles or whatever burned to your pot, which, you know, destroys your pot, and you got to start over, it wastes time, blah, blah, blah. So please read the directions. If you want to do your own from scratch, that's another podcast, so that'd be great for me. Alright, you might want to make your own soup for reasons of salt content. You might want to make your own creation. That would be your own dietary needs. Alright, for the soup that's ready to eat, use your own can opener. Sometimes they come with pop tops, sometimes. Actually, most times, depending on the size of the can. You may not even need a can opener, but a can opener is always good to have because you can definitely use it for other things. Pour carefully into the pot, so that making sure all contents get inside the pot. So try not to get distracted for at least a couple seconds it takes to pour the soup or whatever inside or beans inside the pot. So you don't create a mess for yourself or someone else later. Turn on your heating device to medium I'm going to show you what, well, this is gas. You may have electric. I prefer gas myself. Medium. Okay, this will be high. This is set all the way on. Alright. Medium. And low. Low is a very, actually most recipes usually call for medium low. And that's just basically halfway between medium and low. So, but on the electric, I think there's actually settings on your knob. But if there's not, it's be easy to gauge where the medium low is. Let's see. I guess I want to tell you a story about not walking away from your food, because there was one time in which I was in a different apartment. I was setting something simple. I was boiling eggs, and I fell asleep. Woke up to some popping noises. I wasn't sure where it was. At the time, I wasn't sure where I was. And then there was a smell of sulfur in the air, and all of a sudden I'm cleaning off boiled eggs off of the ceiling because his pot had popped up so high and it was so hot it seared itself to my ceiling. So that's a clue. Never walk away or fall asleep, especially if you're the only one in the house, because you never know what might end up happening. Alright, for a demonstration I am going to boil some eggs. So if you follow me, this is pretty simple. I'm going to take my medium-sized pot. I'm going to fill it up with, not fill it up, it doesn't need to be filled with water. But actually with boiling eggs, this is a simple procedure really. But what I usually do, I put the eggs in first. That way I don't have to worry about the water overflowing. So put the eggs in the pot carefully. Actually, you might want to examine the eggs sometimes. Actually, the best place to examine your eggs is in the store, because sometimes they'll have cracks, they'll have nicks, they'll be torn apart before you even get them home. So that's the best place to check them, so you don't pick up a bad dozen. So put the eggs gently in the pot. Alright. So now I'm going to just pour some cold water. You don't want it hot because it does start to cook the egg, and whereas that's your end result, you want them to cook all evenly. And if it's hot water, that goes true for a lot of things that you might want to cook. Alright, so the eggs are in the pot, turns on high, and then shut down to... Now, something my grandmother always taught me was to put a little salt in the water. Basically, it helps you to crack the eggs later. It gets the shell off a lot easier. And actually, after studying some chemistry, I figured out why that was the best way. Because the heat, combined with the salt, combined with the shell of the egg, actually does make it come off easier. Okay, I'm just going to put this on, put the cover on, because things boil faster when the cover is on. Okay, it shouldn't be too much longer before that starts to boil. And then I'll turn off the heat and keep the eggs there until they cool off enough for me to put in the back in the refrigerator. And that will about end this session right now. Thank you.